Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly Books True Crime. My name is Gisela K. Losing my voice a little bit because I talk to you guys so much, but that's okay. You can call me Gisela, G, Grizzly, Gizzy, Grizella, Grill. You guys are coming up with some cool names. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching as always. I know this is now after the very sad news that we got about Gabby Petito, but I've done part 1 and 2 of the analyzing of the body cam footage, and now I'm going to finish this off and do part 3, as well as really look at those sandals. We're going to look at those sandals so that we can relook at that video in slow-mo and try our best to confirm that those are Brian's sandals and not Gabby's. I do agree with you. I don't see sparkles. I think that Gabby would be sitting on the bumper, you know, like twisting around, sitting on the bumper, taking off her shoes and getting in the van. So the shoes would actually be facing the other way. I agree with you guys. This is why I love your comments. Comment, email, DM, do what you got to do. I cannot get to everyone. I need about 5 or 10 clones in order to do that. But I do try my best to read all your comments. Thank you so much to everyone who is new here, who has subscribed. I hope you'll still like the other content. Please remember, if I do another live stream that's unrelated to this case at all, because I had other content going on before I started covering this case, if it's not your thing, don't watch it. I'll do more videos on this for anyone that's just watching this channel for this content. And for everyone else that was here before, OGs, original Grizzlies, VIPs, thank you so much for sticking with me through all of this. I will get right back to the content that I was also doing before. And I'm excited for what's ahead. Let's get started. If you haven't yet checked out my playlist, I did a updated video of the 911 call, which eyewitness said that Brian was actually the person hitting, slapping Gabby Petito, and Gabby said that he grabbed her face. So here, when the police here, based on what they saw, were like, "Whoa, she's the aggressor," because he's got scratches on his face. I wish they'd asked him more about that hand mark, that when he's like, "Oh, this is from a wire." Like, what wire? Where were you? Why have you got a wire scratch? What is that? You know? I would love to know. But that is unfortunate. The 911 call, it just paints a different picture than maybe what a lot of people had assessed about the situation. But let's just finish off part 3. Let's look at those sandals. You better watch with me. Put your binoculars on, okay? We'll look at that later. But for now, I just wanted to... I don't like leaving something lingering. I like finishing what I started. And so we're going to look at this footage now. Let's play it.
Well, she openly admitted to me earlier that she was striking him in the arm. Or he said that she was striking him in the arm. He said she was. And that's what caused him to hit the curb. She said that she got hurt. I might have these two mixed up, probably.
No, she said that too, that she started distracting him by hitting him, and that he probably looked at her, and that's why the mark on the window side. And she said it was her fault because she was distracting him by hitting him. But she said she didn't try to hurt him, it wasn't malicious. She thought that he wasn't listening to her.
So assault is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. The code for bodily injury, the definition says, bodily injury is infliction of pain or physical impairment or illness. So you can go. Now I'm recording, and society and the judges and everyone can judge me for this. I am looking at a 110-pound female and her fiance who have no means to be separated. He doesn't want to pursue it. She's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault and do the whole thing. This is your opportunity to make the decision.
And then it goes a bit silent here, which is interesting. What else was he saying here? Why is this blanked out? We don't know. It might just be a body cam problem, but I think they actually took the sound out, which is interesting. What is the other guy saying? There's Brian in the background. Look at his sandals. I've taken myself off the screen, so I'm not positioned between these two people's crotches because that's triggering to me. So let's look at the sandals in the back. It very much looks like the sandals to me in that slow down footage by the van. Very much. Tell me what you think. There's the backpack, black and grey sort of backpack. Now he's got his cap on so that his head doesn't burn in the sun. He's being absolutely buddy-buddy with a guy in the background. Wow. That body language right there. You know I love body language. Look at his body language. The 1 foot, his right leg is pointing towards the cops right here, which shows that he, you know, according to body language, that would show he wants to go in that direction. He wants to get away from this chit-chat cop right here. Okay, I don't mean to say chit-chat cop in a derogatory way. It's just they were chatting quite a lot while all this was going on with Gabby. So it would be interesting if he had a body cam. I'm sure he did, but like, what were they saying over there? That would be so interesting to see.
Go ahead.
Sound back.
I better go on that. You got this?
I'm making this decision. I'm going to side him. I'm going to go follow through the first.
Would you feel more comfortable handling that guy?
Yeah.
Go handle that guy.
Go handle that guy? Okay.
If you're more comfortable.
Well, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
It's up to you.
I mean, it's a headache whether I go left or it's a headache whether I go
Look,
right.
another option is to not charge them but separate them for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separated them. You provided for his safety. If he doesn't have enough sense to stay away and you got him separated, it's on him.
You can't babysit my life. That's not what I do. So it's up to them. I got one.
You can separate him and say, don't let us cool off till tomorrow. If they don't let it cool off and we hear about it, we'll hear about it.
They're camping in the park tonight. We'll let you know.
Unfortunately, now they heard about it. You know, if they separate and they don't cool off, we'll hear about it. Yeah, that took like 2 or so weeks from this point. Unfortunately, now they're really hearing about it. But who would have actually guessed at that moment that Brian was a killer? If that's what he is, if that's what it turns out to be, I'm speculating. You know, in this moment, I mean, we could say he looks shady, or, you know, like that's weird, or she was behaving like a victim of DV. But I don't know how many of us would just be like, yep, he's a killer, right?
And if there's some fighting going on, you already was Mr. Nice Guy. You already gave him a chance. What you can't do by law is separate someone and say, if we hear from you again, we're going to arrest one of you. Because then if one of them really needs help, they may not call police and get help. The law says you cannot, literally, you may not say, if we get more problems with you guys tonight, one of you is going to jail. You can't threaten like that. Right. It's true, because if it stops them, you want to call the police to get help. Does that make sense? Right. So go full or nothing or in between and separate them and kind of give them the nod, the wink, like, hey, you know, just stay separate. It's up to you. I'm going to go handle that. You got very capable help with you here, and I trust you.
I will. Alrighty, man. So we're still going to be going through. I do need some things from you, though. Do you mind if I get a picture of your driver's license?
Yeah.
He really first had to think about that. Yeah, of course. And guess what he whips out now? Oh, a phone, is it? I looked back at that footage and he said, yeah, you know, like, I wouldn't have my phone. I don't have a phone. He definitely said, I don't have a phone. I think if we really look at this, right, he could have meant that, like, I didn't want to be stranded and then she's got my phone, which that's also like, because his phone is in his pocket right now. But I think he was implying he didn't want to be stranded without a phone. Possibly something he did to her a lot, but he didn't want to be stranded without his phone. Maybe that's why he said, I don't have a phone. Hey, I can go back and slow that down. But remember it. Just go watch my previous video. He said, I don't have a phone, and now he's whipping out his phone.
I was thinking it was reversed like that. This is me. Uh-oh.
He said, this is me. The guy says, uh-oh. Why do I say that? In my previous video, I said he's got many different looks, many different ways that he presents himself. It is a thing, you know, strange thing to say, it is me, because maybe he looks very different with different facial hair, you know, different stage of his life or whatever. I speculated a lot about dissociative identity disorder or the personalities he might have been fighting in his own mind. So go and watch that video. It's on the one where I analyzed his art. Analyzing Brian Laundrie's art. Go look at that video and you'll see what I was saying and why he might be saying, this is me.
And every man has hair.
You said that this is still your mailing address, right?
Yeah, so he's saying it's when I had hair, you know, but this is me. It's just when I had hair. Yeah, dude, we know. You know, we know that this would be you. You can see it from your face on the picture, like that little bit of hair you got on top. Seriously.
Still the right way. Alright, and then Brian, what is the phone number?
Thank you guys for helping us.
Oh yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
Have a good day. What a good boy, right? Have a good day. And he's so much looking behind him all the time. I told you about that already, but he's looking behind all the time. Just like, I think in the back of his mind, he might have been thinking, is this a setup? Are they going to arrest me now? Are the cuffs coming out? But like, all right, have a good day.
My phone number? Yeah.
He said, oh, you want my phone number? You want my phone number? And here he whips out his phone. Wow. That's probably the phone he's using right now to update his Spotify playlist. And possibly unfollowing people on Instagram unless they are blocking him. That's yet to be found out. Okay, now for anyone saying that possibly, hold on, let me just, I know you guys can't really see me. Here I am. I'm sorry. Let me talk to you in between. For anyone saying that was Gabby's phone, no. Remember, the female officer went to the car to get Gabby's phone. Remember? She was like, she wants a phone. And he's like, oh, no, let me get it for you. And then he gave it to her. Remember that? Yes. Okay, we're going to relook at this. I just have... what's going on here? The sound is blurted out again or silenced.
Alright, there we are. Can I get your phone number?
See, she's got her phone on her lap. She has her phone on her lap and Brian has his phone in his hand. So I don't have a phone was a dumb thing of him to say. She's saying her phone number. There are sandals, people. Those are not the sandals I see in the slow down footage at all.
It should just be in like Zion.
Okay, do you have any problems with me taking a picture of it? I have to have IDs and stuff like that for my investigation. Here. So, this is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay? It was only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However, the domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes life a major pain in the butt, especially at you're 22, right? So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with it.
Man, I feel so sorry for her here. Of course, especially in hindsight with what we know now. I'm sure we all do. I don't know where to put myself, really. To me, it's almost like I'm speculating again that it's just like crying at like the bizarreness. The bizarreness, is that even a word? But of possibly that the possibility existed of her being charged with domestic violence when allegedly he was the one slapping her, hitting her, grabbing her face. I'm sure she could have fought back. He did have scratches on him. I understand that. Don't come for me. I just mean, imagine if she was, let's say that. Imagine if she was in an abusive relationship where he was abusing her in that way. And now she's sitting in this situation of like, oh my word, they were going to charge me with that. That must feel really terrible as a victim of that abuse. Okay, but he did have scratches on him. I understand.
All right, but this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, crying, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay? I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So.
Notice how he said, I understand that this can feel like a nightmare, and she's like, like her face is in absolute agony, and she's just like, She really agreed with him there, like, yes, nodding 3 times, absolute agony. And then when he says, it's like, the golden flower on the mountaintop, she's like, like taking that advice, really taking that advice to help her get through this moment, right? Look.
Tonight, away from each other, relax, breathe, crying, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay? I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So, you're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other. For both of you guys the same. From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on broke tonight. Does that sound about right? So, I just want everybody to breathe, get a chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you gotta do.
In here?
Just totally sorry. So, like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hold on. This is Officer Robbins.
Some people have asked about, was she talking to her parents, and did she tell her parents about this terrible incident? We don't know what she was saying to her parents, or if she had called her mom. Allegedly she had, but she might have been used to playing down the situation with Brian. All that her mom, Nicole Schmidt, said was that when she last spoke to her on the 25th of August, she sounded okay, but that she didn't know where the relationship with Gabby and Brian was really going. That's what she got from the conversation. He's like, she sounded all right, but she wasn't sure if, did they break up? Where's the relationship going? What's happening? So that's what we know.
Up. Perfect.
Silent again. Sun be bright though. Damn.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Is this your cell phone that I called? Okay.
I just want to add that, remember when Brian gave his driver's license, they're like, can we ask you a favor? Can we see your driver's license? He was like, oh yeah, okay. And then he got it out and he took it out like this. I don't have anything to demonstrate, really. Do I have something to demonstrate with my little bear book? But he's like took it out like this. Whereas Gabby, when they asked for it, she opened her wallet like this and like opened everything in view of them. You know what I mean? It was just, she did it in a much more, okay, I'm exposing everything, I'm showing everything. I don't know. He just, what do I gather from that? What am I speculating or saying? That he's much more of a control freak, because he's like holding on to that and like showing it and then holding it like that. Whereas, you know, the whole time gripping it and then looking at the front and back himself and then putting it back in the wallet. Whereas Gabby was like, okay, here it is. And when they asked to see it, she put the card in her hand and held it like this, so they could take the picture. You guys can say maybe it's a male versus female thing. I'm just saying, to me, if I had to look at another layer, it's a control freak thing. And then there's this submissive woman in the situation who's completely terrified.
Okay. Well, go ahead and save my number into that phone, and I'll save your number, or this number, into my phone. That way I can contact the on duty after hours person. So, because I literally had to Google it. So, perfect. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate your time. Alright. So, I've got him a hotel room tonight. So, here in just a minute, I have to keep you guys separated. For right now, don't contact each other, don't wave at him, okay? Do you want me to say anything to him? Because I can do that for you. You want me to let him know that you love him and that you'll see him tomorrow and stuff like that? I can do that
Make
for
sure
you.
that the forget a phone charger. Definitely good.
Oh, he's bad about that too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure.
Now, for people who asked why do I think that they put Brian up in a hotel and Gabby had to take the van? You know, maybe it should, out of courtesy, be the other way around. Well, because Gabby owned the van, so it's her van. If he took her van, I don't know, that would just feel like maybe the wrong way around. It's her van. It was in her name, from what I understand. So she was going to stay in her van, and he needed somewhere else to stay, so they were putting him up in a hotel. In hindsight, it's sickening to think about that. That he was, I don't know about living it up, but you know what I mean? Living it up in a hotel, and she was sleeping in her van. You know what I mean? The contrast is just like, if he is really the abuser, that's like, wow. In hindsight, we can't look back and say, they should have this and this and this. You know, there's a lot they could have and should have and would have. That's what hindsight does. Hindsight is the best side, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, we don't even know, where did she sleep that night? Where did she park the van? Did they contact each other? Because she said, you know, he's like, anything you want me to say to him? And she just like looked forward. And then he's like, want me to tell him that you love him and you'll see him tomorrow? And she's like, she like kind of nods like, mm-hmm. Because imagine if she's like, no, don't say that. That would be weird in the scenario. I'd also be like, mm-hmm, right? And then to say, well, just tell him to not forget his phone charger, because his phone was definitely dead or dying. So his phone charger.
That he has a phone charger, okay? And if I have anything else, please keep your cell phone on so I can call you if I have any questions, alright?
Okay.
Alright, so just kind of sit tight for me real fast and I'm going to talk to Brian. Alright, Brian, a couple things. Couple things. One, I got
Said, all right, Brian, couple things. He's like, couple things? Did any of you notice that I didn't see these butterfly? Maybe it's there. I can't see it in the slow down footage. I'm going to look again. I just couldn't see the butterfly stickers. And it's weird to me that the last Instagram post on her account is about this butterfly thing and Happy Halloween. And if those stickers are also removed, it's like so weird how he is a little bit of a philosophical dude. It could represent to him really like transformation or taking her sticker off. Maybe the rest are his. I don't know.
Your hotel room tonight.
Thank you. It's better than that side.
So
I like that side.
Number 2, and this is probably the biggest one. She claims that she did not have intent to hurt you when she was slapping at you. So technically speaking, it does not fit the letter of the code. So I am not going to be charging her with DV. Exactly. So this is what I am going to do, however. I'm not going to release you guys together. I want you guys to stay away from each other tonight. Okay? She's agreed to it. Take some time to yourselves. You guys both have the exact same story as to what led up to the incident. So, taking some time tonight, specifically, taking tonight away from each other is going to...
He says, I really appreciate it. I'm sure you do. Look at him. He's so impressed with himself right here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to stay in a hotel for the night.
Be the major breaker in all of this. I think that will help you guys, especially tomorrow when you guys meet up. So she does have a couple of messages for you. 1, she says she loves you. She's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. 2, don't forget a cell phone charger.
Yeah, good. He watched me fumble around the entire 3 laps around the car to find one.
Did you find one?
Find one.
Okay. The other thing is I don't want you guys to contact each other.
No,
okay,
when
unless
he said that that she gonna text me or whatever, I was gonna send her a message that said, please don't message me, but I love you. But yeah.
But tonight.
I roll, shaking my head of like, oh yeah, no, I'm already on top of that. When he's like, please don't contact her tonight. He's like, oh yeah, no, I was already saying that, like, I'm gonna text her and say, please don't text me, but I love you, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, oh yeah, you're in control of the situation, are you?
Don't do anything. Yeah. And I'm with
She's passing on her love and saying goodnight and stuff like that. All that is stuff that I do to my wife too, okay? So
I appreciate it coming from you.
just so don't just try to not contact each other unless, like I said, earth shattering, something happens, you guys have to jump in the car right now and drive back to Florida because something happened with parents. That kind of circumstance. Yeah, exactly. Other than that, just go have a meal by yourself, catch your breath. You're going to be in a hotel room watching TV. It's probably been a few months since you actually got to sit down, relax, some air conditioning, and watch TV. So take some time for your guys' selves. Yeah, take a shower, man. You got to change your clothes. You got some chonies in there, right?
Not really a time to laugh, Brian. He's laughing his ass off at that. Yeah, take a shower. He's like, ha ha. And when they say you can watch TV, he's like, great idea. I thought you were off the grid, barefoot, melon ball boy. Now you're so excited for a hotel room and TV. I wonder if he had some beers on the night too. You know, everything he says is a lie. We don't drink, he might drink. I'm a vegan, he eats salmon. I only hike barefoot, and then he's wearing shoes in half his photos. So,
All right, good. Because they're going to have everything that you need, shampoo, conditioner, all that good stuff. All right. Our main concern is make sure that you have cell phone charger so you guys can go tomorrow. Okay?
I really appreciate it.
you're going to have everything that you need. But Gabby, she'll be in the van. Who knows where she'll be showering or eating or parking the car. Woman alone, it's fine. Psh, but you'll have everything that you need, dude. In a hotel, taking a shower, watching some TV.
I am going to walk her over here to the car, okay? And if you'll just go stand over here in front of his pickup real quick, we'll get her out of here, and I'll be right over here. Alrighty? You give her my key. Absolutely. Alrighty, Gabrielle, you want to step out for me? As you can see, I have keys in my hand, which is good, okay? So, something that I do, that I emphasize to him, and I don't know if I emphasize to you or not, don't text each other tonight. He wants to pass on the same message you passed to him. He's really looking forward to talking to you again, but I told him and you...
I'm really sorry to... I have to nitpick the stuff. It's in hindsight, the cops were doing the best they could. But If I were to give any advice, don't put words in people's mouths. Not one of them said, I love you and good night and I'm so excited to see you tomorrow. Not one of them said that. So I know that the reason for saying this is to calm each other down, to diffuse the anxiety and the tension between them, to say those kind of things. But it was false. No one said that. I don't think they were that excited to see each other the next day.
Unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can talk tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. And we'll go home.
I'm just looking carefully. Is that a scratch on her face or not? Is it just a shadow? Is it just a crease? I'm sure they would have seen it if it was. I'm just looking at it. It just looks weird.
Alrighty. So, here's that. I'm giving him a ride over to the hotel. Okay? So...
I swear, that's a scratch on her face. On her left cheek, which is on our right side. That's a scratch on her face. This poor girl. This poor woman. I know some of you took offense of me saying girl. This poor 22-year-old woman.
Everything's going to be okay.
Will it be a far drive for me to get him in the morning? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you where he's going to be at tonight.
I know.
Like I said, I want you guys to be separated. But I can tell you this.
I just don't usually drive the van, so I just want to make sure it's not like far away.
No. It's
Okay.
it's basically from here to Moonflower.
Okay.
Okay? It's not far at all. So, let's get you in the van. Let's get you on your way, alrighty?
She has a scratch on her face. She has a scratch on her face. I'm sorry, but this is shocking to me because they're like, oh my word, he has a scratch on his face. And like, she has a scratch on her face too.
Do you want that Gatorade, by the way?
Okay.
You got enough water? Also, something I want you to know. Here, stand over here real fast for me. If you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. They're pretty cheap. A place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit. Alrighty.
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday, so
Yeah,
it does my wife wonders. So when she gets stressed out, it's like.
She doesn't mean that she showered yesterday and doesn't need to shower today. She means, yeah, I showered at one of those yesterday, so she knows how it works.
Get in the shower. Come on,
It
just
does
get in the
sound
shower.
really relaxing.
Go take a shower, relax, take some time to yourself, and like I said, don't text each other tonight. Text each other tomorrow morning after your eyes open up and you're fully awake, had your coffee or your morning routine, okay? All right, you have a good night, okay?
Thank you.
Not trying to criticize, but if anyone out there struggles with anxiety, you know how infuriating it can be when someone says, just relax. That'll make you not relax. Just relax. Take a shower, relax. Just take a breather. I know what the cop meant when it comes to mental health and mental breakdowns, which they said this was. A mental breakdown, saying just relax and take a shower, to a woman in a traumatized state, not the greatest. I'm not trying to throw shade at the police officers over here. I know some of you do, right? Some of you throw shade. Some of you are all for it, saying they did a brilliant job. I think they did their job. We're allowed to add on our own thoughts. We can all learn from this case and from this experience, right? It's a shocking case. So I think the reason that a lot of us like true crime, not like true crime, but are involved in true crime and watch the stories, whether you're the viewer or you're the creator, is because it's like, wait, what happened and what can we learn from this?
All right.
I got the ladder, I get the bottom, and it was just a rattle of the rattlesnake. It's just a comeback.
You ready for a ride?
Got that fist pump going on.
My door's open. Just climb in the back seat for me, bud. Yeah, you can put your backpack back there too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry about that approach. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It's alright. It was an interesting pull-in, so.
Thanks, man.
Daniel, by the way, if I didn't
No.
formally introduce myself, I'm Daniel. I'm 2T9, so if you hear that, you know who you're talking to.
Ryan.
See, I hear you guys all the time. Like, this is too much. So,
What's your first name?
it was nice meeting you guys. We'll see that.
Also, did you notice how neither Gabby nor Brian wanted to look at each other? She was trying to race so quick to that door, to the driver's seat, like, okay, and they're like, come back here, stand at the back and talk, which made her like, okay, and she stood there for a bit. But she just wanted to bolt back to the van, and he didn't look left or right either. He just wanted to bolt straight back, well, straight to this car on this side, pointing the wrong way, this car. So that, yes, does not indicate to me that they're like, oh no, we have to be separated. Oh no, like, it doesn't, I don't feel that. Do you?
What's that?
You live in a rough zombie.
You like it?
I was wondering if you get to play your own personal music in the
Heck yeah, dude. I got my own phone hooked up to.
Interested in his playlist, are ya? Are you listening to Rob Zombie? Damn, what's your playlist? I'm about to update my Spotify playlist all the time, including on the drive home alone, including today or yesterday on the 20th of September.
This thing.
You're just jamming all day.
Yeah. Hey man, it's not too hard to go a few hours without having anything interesting happen or anything to get the old blood pumping real good, you know what I mean? So.
I stuck my hands up because I didn't want to scare you when you pulled over.
Oh, no, you're.
Hitting the thing.
That wasn't a traditional stop to say the least. So don't feel bad.
I just always
Did he just explain why he put his hands up when they got pulled over? I put my hands up because of this and this and this. Yeah, you put your hands up because you thought you're going to get arrested because you're guilty AF. Speculatively.
So 2T9.
Oh, and now the sound gets... We're silent again, guys. What the hell were they talking about here?
Didn't already know. She did want to pass on her good nights and loves yous and stuff like
She did not want to pass on her good nights and I love yous.
that, okay? And she understands that I didn't tell her where you're staying because, like I said, I'm trying to keep you guys away from each other for tonight.
Where did you say I was going?
Say that again?
Where did you say I was going?
I just told her that you were
Oh, where did you say I was going, huh?
going to a hotel. Okay? So, like I said, it's my request, not legally obligated to hold to it, but I want you guys to take some time away from each other because it will make world of difference. Oh, you're not in any trouble? You got handcuffs on?
I'm looking at that tattoo on the left there. What do you guys know what that is? What's that? I know some people have sent me some speculations about what that represents and what this police officer could be part of. Bit of a strange vibe in this area in general. So let me know what you think.
I didn't tell you that I'm taking you to the jail. No, I told you I'm taking you to the hotel. So, like I said, my main concern, I told her to go take a shower like I told you to, because she seems a lot like my wife. And things that really works for my wife is when she gets stressed out to go take a long hot shower. So I gave her...
I'm just gonna eye roll at this point. I'm not even gonna comment. I'm just gonna eye roll, okay?
a place to go where she can get a hotel room, or not a hotel room, but get a shower tonight for like $4 or $5, really cheap.
Oh, awesome.
So
He says, "Aw, this is just horrible to watch now that we know what happened in general. We don't know exactly what happened yet. We don't know. But Gabby Petito is no longer with us. And Brian Laundrie is on the run. So he's like, aw, the hell?"
no problem.
They do work on her too.
Well, I've got quite a few. Like I said, my wife has really, really bad anxiety, and she takes medication for it daily. And sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes it builds up and it happens. I mean,
I think definitely the doctor told me that I prescribed the medication, but I don't want to. So I felt like if I took the medication, I'd like put myself off balance, and then I'd be more anxious. That's why it's part of my anxiety.
well, I will say this. When my wife got put on the medication, within a week, I saw a complete turnaround in her attitude, her demeanor. I mean, she wasn't nearly as aggressive or angry or anything like that. It was a considerable difference in her day-to-day life. It made her quality of life better even. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying.
And it's made my quality of life a lot better too, because I don't have her being as stressed. I know that 5.5 years of marriage, I know it's not very long, but at the same time, you learn a lot in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
How long you guys been together?
I would say, well, we've known each other since the start of high school. But in a relationship, it's been 3 and close to 4 years.
Wow.
A little while. Definitely the 5 months of traveling together. It's been like green, but we're also like right on top of each other.
I used to drive a truck.
What's that?
I used to be a commercial motor vehicle driver, you know, the big trucks.
Oh,
And I took my wife with me, and we would easily spend a couple months on end without going home or anything like that, being cooped up in a little 8x8 cage is what I called it, because you didn't have any time to yourself, so to speak. You didn't have time to, you know, you're going through Arizona, you can't just turn off the road and go see the Grand Canyon or anything like that. So,
whatever you do, too, it's like you and the other person, something like I'm trying to paint or something, or I'm making myself a snack or something.
For anyone new here, I am not a sound engineer or a editor like that. I make all my videos on OBS, Open Broadcast Software. Okay, so I'm playing you the original body cam footage. I know there's a lot of driving noise. Brian is asking there about medication, and he's basically saying he doesn't want to be dependent on it, even though he considered it, and like what happens. And then the cop is telling him all about how much of a difference the medication can make. And then, I don't know, saying how much he learned from 5 years of marriage. And then talking about being a truck driver. So let's hear what else Brian has to say. And how long they were dating. Known each other since high school. That's also another bizarre piece of this case, is that they've known each other since high school. So it's not like they dated for a year and then this escalated to this point where they're like fighting, or even for 6 months. It's like, this is they say a childhood friend. Like, wow.
well, that was one of the major advantages of having her with me, was I could say, hey, I'm hungry, can you get me something to eat? She was able, because I was driving and she wasn't, she was able to go back, get into the cooler, make us lunch or whatever, you know. So there was that as an advantage.
If you ever think that it'd be better to do this before, I always go, I think you're wrong. I think it's not better. Because it makes life easier.
Yeah.
So good. Have you been in this area a long time?
I've lived here, I'm just shy of 2 years living out here, but my grandfather's lived out here for like 40. So I've been through here a couple of times. But, you know, growing up in California, have you ever been there?
Yeah. 2 years ago, we did a cross-country trip, and we went all Highway 1 down.
I love driving the one. I absolutely love it. But
We're really looking forward to getting back there. It's beautiful here, but the desert's definitely different than before. It's come from like New York and the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
It's all trees and waterfalls and rivers, and you come here and it's going.
Well, if you hit
Where's the water?
if you take the 80 across to get into California, takes you up over Donner Pass and into Sacramento. It's not any different at all. But you said you're going to be going up to Oregon to see her grandmother or her grandmother's friend.
Yeah.
So you'll be probably, you'll probably be coming down the 5. You won't be able to tell the difference between California and Oregon up there.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that there's going to be a sign that says "Welcome to California." But at the same time, since you're going to be coming from the east side of Oregon, you're going to be driving through Oregon and going, "There's no difference between Utah." It's actually desert in the southeast corner of Oregon. It's a lot of high desert atmosphere, like what this is. It's not the Red Rock or anything like that, but it's just there's nothing out there for 120 miles. It seems like.
What was your favorite part of like growing up in California? I mean like parks. I just I'm such a big hiker.
Parks?
Like a hiker growing up?
Look, if you don't hit Sequoia National Park while you're in California, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you don't go and see Yosemite while you're in California, you're doing yourself a
Yosemite,
just.
I regret not being there alone. We stayed there for 3 nights, and it was.
It's like coming to Utah. You come here with the intention of 1 or 2 days, and then it turns into a week, and you're like, well, what happened to the time? Yeah, trust me, I get it.
That's why building the van was so great, because the Nissan Sentra, if you tried to camp out somewhere, you can camp in like the sleepover Walmart type situations.
Yeah.
Now it's all BLM land, and it's
Wherever you want.
Watching shooting stars as we go.
What did he just say about Walmart there? What?
You are doing yourself a disservice. If you don't go and see Yosemite while you're in California, you're doing yourself a
Yosemite,
just.
I regret not being there alone. We stayed there for 3 nights, and it was.
It's like coming to Utah. You come here with the intention of 1 or 2 days, and then it turns into a week, and you're like, well, what happened to the time? Yeah, trust me, I get it.
That's why building the van was so great, because the.
I'm going to tell you the meaning of the tattoos if I find it right now.
Nissan Sentra, if you tried to camp out somewhere, you can camp in like the sleepover Walmart type situations.
Yeah.
Now it's all BLM land, and it's
Wherever you want.
Watching shooting stars as we go to bed. So I was excited for that.
Just one more time.
Yosemite while you're in California, you're doing yourself a
Yosemite,
just.
I regret not being there alone. We stayed there for 3 nights, and it was.
It's like coming to Utah. You come here with the intention of 1 or 2 days, and then it turns into a week, and you're like, well, what happened to the time? Yeah, trust me, I get it.
That's why building the van was so great, because the Nissan Sentra, if you tried to camp out somewhere, you can camp in like the sleepover Walmart type situations.
Yeah.
Now it's all BLM land, and it's
Wherever you want.
Watching shooting stars as we go to bed. So I was excited for that.
But yeah, sorry, my radio was going off. But no, Sequoia National Park, there is nothing like it. Gotta see the General Sherman tree. You gotta go and see Morrow Rock and climb to the top. If you like hiking, it's about a 1.5 mile hike. Well worth it.
Awesome.
Gotta do it. It's really, really cheap for their tent sites up there. Do you have a National Park Service pass?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's, that thing's the dream. It's $90 or no, $80 once, and it's like you go to 3 parks and it already pays for it. It's like 8 to 15.
Exactly. Well, the other thing of it is with that drive, if you go through Yosemite, you'll drop down into Fresno, and then you'll turn off to go to Kings Canyon National Park. If you drive through Kings Canyon National Park, the road literally takes you through to Sequoia National Park. And the Kings Canyon is actually bigger than the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I'm dead serious. And it is a sight to behold. I'll tell you what. And then it takes you straight into Sequoias. And then when you get into, I think they call it Sierra Highway still up there. But you'll take that down, and you'll pop up into a town called Three Rivers. It's where I'm from.
Rivers?
Yep.
So it wasn't terribly far from Sequoia, right?
My house, I think the furthest I lived away from it was like 12 miles from the entrance.
Oh, man. There you go.
I just hope you don't get motion sickness because it's I think I counted it out to like 32 hairpin turns, and it's about 25 miles an hour the whole way up and down. It's very, very slow. It takes about an hour to travel that 30 miles, 35 miles, whatever it is. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I grew up in Queens and Forest Hills, and then I moved out to Long Island. Kind of surrounded a handful of others, but being in New York, you kind of not landlocked. That get to like the mountains and hiking and stuff.
Yeah. Alright, we're here.
And now you see that I didn't have to file anything?
We got.
Wow. Silence. Total silence. Where's the sound, people? Look at the sandals. Look at the sandals. Those, I believe, are the same sandals outside the van. It's got very thick straps, though. Very dark bottom, so we'll look at those in the next video.
We're gonna come in here. We're gonna come talk to Tyson real quick.
The Moen Motel. The Moen Motel. That's where he's staying. That's where he was staying for the night. Man, I would have questions for them. Some people have said I should call them. I don't have those resources. I'm from South Africa, living in the Netherlands. But if you guys are in the US and call up and try to get some questions answered, you know, that we may all have. Did he stay there by himself? How long did he stay there? Where did Gabby stay? What did he order? What did he do? I don't know. Standard questions. Which I'm sure the police and the FBI have asked, I would hope. But yeah, there you can see the Moen Motel. And more silence. A little late to blank out the name. We saw it already.
Tyson?
Yep.
Officer Robbins Phil called for me.
He did, yes.
This is Brian Laundrie.
Alright.
So he's going to get you all set up with your hotel room, and he's going to take care of it from here.
Alright. Well,
Alright?
thank you so
And like I
much.
said, just remember my requests. I think it'll make a big difference in you guys' next couple weeks at the very least.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything.
Unfortunately, it did not. Either it did or did not make a big difference. Maybe it did make a big difference, and we don't know what happened. We don't know yet. But yeah, I don't think anyone could foresee what the next few weeks were going to hold.
No problem. It's nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good one.
Alright, so sorry.
And then he's already like, all right, getting all checked in. The hell, that's the end of it, guys. Now, what do I want to show you? I want to go back to this, and I want to go back to this, and here I am. I was there with you, watching it for probably the 10th time. Now, I looked up the three dots, especially on the hand. 3-dot tattoo on the hand. Now, I know those weren't dots, it was like a circle, and they seem to be going in a direction. The tattoo on the police officer's hand, because some people are pointing out to that, and I do want to look more into it. All I can find so far is the 3 dots tattoo is a common prison tattoo that represents mi vida loca, or my crazy life. It's not associated with any particular gang, but with the gang lifestyle itself. This tattoo is typically found on the hands or around the eyes. Okay. On the other hand, this tattoo can also carry some religious significance, usually representing Christianity's Holy Trinity. To ID more common gang or prison tattoos, make sure to watch the video below, and then they've got a whole video on the site. So they're showing an example of that. And another one that I found was over here, which says, There are different types of 3-dot tattoos. I have one on my left hand that was done in my teenage years. Mine are 3 tiny dots in a straight line, but today's post will look at a certain 3-dot tattoo. This 3-dot tattoo has been linked to Cuban and Russian mafia, Freemasonry, and even sailors. I'll show you on my phone. Wait, the picture. Can you see it? On here, I hope you can see that. There's the 3-dot tattoo. This tattoo consists of 3 dots in a triangle, like mine. It usually found between the thumb and forefinger, which was on the police officer. It's a popular tattoo among prisoners in Germany. He's not in Germany, so no, we're not going to read that. To the 3 Masons, the 3-dot tattoo is a symbol of the under society, NIQ or NIC, which stems from Freemasonry. Instead of the dots being between the thumb and the forefinger, that tattoo is done on the middle knuckle, but that's obviously between his thumb and forefinger. This tattoo is a must-have for many middle and high-ranking members in the Cuban and Russian mafia. Hey, remember when I said Brian is probably in Cuba? I don't know, I'm just saying. Who knows? Who knows what we're dealing with in this case at this point? We can speculate far and wide. I don't often speculate too far and wide. I'm just looking at that now because people pointed out the tattoo and the nonchalant way that everything went here, and that Brian got the fist pump, got put up in a hotel. I understand why. I understand the logical law enforcement reasons. But now we've got to look a little more. You know what I mean? We've got to dig a little deeper. So that's what I can find so far. This tattoo has to be the most common used among gangs throughout the world. Besides the Cuban and Russian mafia, the Hispanic and Asian gangs have used this tattoo for years. And that's that, right? So, yeah, they were asking, why did this guy have a 3-dot tattoo? And he says, I became street smart as a teenager, and he got that gang life stuff, you know? So, tell me if you know what that tattoo means. Please let me know. Email me rather, because I can't keep up with the comments. grizzlybookstruecrime@gmail.com. If you want to find me on Instagram, pointing that way, Grizzly_books at that Gisela K, grizzly-books.com, and buymeacoffee.com/Gisela K if you do want to support this channel. Thank you so much to everyone who has sent me PayPal donations, who have bought me coffees, who appreciate the work that I'm doing. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Did you see those sandals? You know what I'm doing next, right? You know what's happening next. We're going to look at that slow motion footage. We're going to zoom in on it. We're going to assess the sandals next to each other. See you next time.